Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today joins at Golf Repairs for you with Master Fitter Sam Smith and 6.5 handicap Dan.
Hello.
Where we're going to be talking you through the process of selecting the right iron. If you're in the market for irons this year, like Dan is, we're going to go through the process of elimination to find out what head profile you're going to be fitted for today. And Sam's going to obviously, talk us through that process as a master fitter, and that might be because you're trying to build your own bag of clubs, or you're just intrigued in this subject really. So yeah, I mean, obviously Dan's swing quite well now, don't you?
Yeah, also I've seen you hit quite a bit, and you've been in here quite a bit in terms of getting data, so I've got an idea, understanding what you need. But yeah, so we're going to do full fitting today, but we're going to break it down in parts, just to make sure the video is not like forever and ever.
If you've watched any fitting videos with Sam before, we have tried to do full length videos, but they're like 2 hours, and sometimes I feel like the information in them is absolutely fantastic, but the views,
it's hard to find that much free time. Yeah, of course. So we're going to try and split up a little bit. So we're going to focus first, get a hit in your own club, get some data, then I'll get an understanding of what heads you need. I think we'll have probably 6 different iron models to choose from. And then we'll get you hitting them in terms of what shaft options I think will be a good start. And then straight away you'll get an understanding of what you like the look of, the feel of, and then obviously performance. And then by the end of the video we'll narrow it down to probably a couple. And then the next video we'll go more in depth from there.
Can I ask you one question, Dan? Because I know you love your golf equipment.
I do.
If there's one thing that Sam can do for you in iron department, if there's one thing you could improve on your irons, because you hit the irons really nice, but what would it be?
I think probably a little bit more spin and just a little bit more penetrating flight. I struggle in wind. If it's wind against, it just seems to go high. And although I don't have that loads of spin, it just seems to stop.
Yeah, so just changing your ball flight a little bit. And yeah, but that's where obviously loft comes into play. But again, just playability in terms of like head profile, because obviously you've got Titleist T200, haven't you? So they're quite a distance iron. So if you went to more like a player's iron, that's where naturally the spin's going to be a little bit higher, and then obviously loft can vary as well. So that's what we need to look at, what loft you kind of need to get fit into, and obviously then straight away some heads will be an option, some won't be, because we can physically get to that loft. So yeah, we'll work it all out and get you dialed in.
Do you think you can do it, Sam?
I'll give it a good go.
Right, so that were a good warm-up, Dan. Obviously we've got some numbers, Sam.
Yeah.
Having looking at these numbers and what Dan's trying to achieve, could that help steer into sort of the direction of where you're going to go club-wise?
Yeah, I think it's still pretty similar. I think it's more like a player's distance, to like a semi-blade kind of profile, something where there's a fair bit amount of loft on just to get the spin up. So you can see spin's the main thing that's standing out. It's very low spin and it fluctuates quite a bit. But I think for me, it's dependent on strike as well. So if you look at the strike location, it varies a bit. So that last one was kind of the best strike, and that's why the spin was optimum really, or a lot closer to optimum. But because you're very toe down at 4.7 degrees as average, it brings your strike point higher up the head. So if you see here, that basically with 2 stickers, that's what the red line is on the foresight. But if anything, you want to be probably the groove underneath that. If you look at like how much mass is behind the club head, it's obviously always lower on the head. You're hitting it kind of, look at where the back of the club is, you're hitting it kind of on that groove there. And you can see there's just not as much mass behind it, where if it was like, say, kind of where the T200 is, something like that. But again, because you toe down, all of a sudden if you drop your toe, it goes higher up the head. And that's where all of a sudden that spin drops like gear effect of the head. So I'm hoping...
I believe they're 2 degrees flat, so that won't be helping me then.
No, that's not helping you at all. So again, if we go more right... hopefully the strike point will drop again, and that's where you see ball speed jump up, launch and spin balance out a little bit more. But yeah, again, it's not like you've got like a one-sided miss in terms of lie angles. Say we were 2 degrees flat and you're hitting it, to the right, but it makes sense anyway. But you're kind of a bit scattered anyway. Looking at the dispersion, so yeah, hopefully we can get a bit more under control, going more right. I'll check what the starting loft is on this, and then that will tell me kind of what route we need to go down in terms of kind of brand, in terms of model and head profile, and obviously then it's down to your preference in terms of what you like the look of, the feel of, and obviously if we're getting good data as well. So yeah, we'll have a look. But yeah, I think to kind of summarise,
there's one thing I guarantee. I bet when you had them irons fitted, and we'll not mention where they were fitted because that's irrelevant, But I bet that weren't a consideration, were it?
No, it were very basic compared to what I know now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you know, sometimes it is hard if you only get, you know, so like a standard pro shop, you're only getting like a basic fitting kit and stuff like that. So sometimes you need to go more in depth just to get to the root of a problem. So I think a lot of it's strike location's one thing I'm looking at, because again, you look at like club data, you can see efficiency is slightly low. So if you can get to kind of like 1.35, 1.36 kind of number, that's where you then, like I said, just get a bit more ball speed out of it. But you can see that your face fluctuates quite a bit as well. So pass very neutral, which is great. But you see face angle, you know, 2.7 deviation, obviously generally quite short. And again, you'd think, oh, you know, why are you going to go more right if you're generally shut in face? But this is what we need to find out. You know, if it's a case we go more right, but everything's going straight left, and we need to look at other options as well. And again, that's where you can maybe balance out with swing weight potentially. And that's what it is with fitting. It's just getting the right balance with everything. I'm just going to check loft and line yours, see where we're kind of starting. Because if anything, it's probably maybe a little bit too low lofted, which is why your spin's obviously struggling. Again, strikes have a big part in it, but I don't think you're going to get into like low 6,000 kind of spin range with this type of lofted head. So yeah, let's have a look.
Obviously, every player, Sam, has a preference to the sort of head shape and style that they like.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so how important is that?
Yeah, very. It's sometimes it's hard because sometimes, you know, you got like an ego thing. You got to swallow your pride a bit. If someone wants, oh, you know, I really want like a slim head, but you know, if they can't physically strike 100% or they need a stronger loft, then you got to, you know, put that aside, and you know, you got to get, you know, fit into something that's best for you, really.
I guess in some places, though, you've had to fit in someone's ego, haven't you, I bet?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's, you know, sometimes you've got to be honest with people. I had a friend of mine come in, you know, a few weeks ago. He's always played, like, blades or semi-blades, because he's a good player, but then he's never had a fitting. I've been telling them for ages he needed to come see me, because I knew someone wasn't right. Found out his diamond loft's incredibly high, so because of that, he's getting, like, really low efficiency, really high launch, high spin. So he's using 34 degree 7 iron in a minute. I put him in a 28 degree 7 iron. And it sounds like, you know, are you going to hit it further? But it's more that getting the launch and spin optimum. I mean, it's just an added bonus that all of a sudden the ball speed shoots up. And in the end, they gained him 11 yards carry. We didn't even go in depth with it because he came for a driver fin originally, but I just got him hitting irons. But yeah, he gained 11 yards carry, and his peak height only dropped a yard, because you gain the ball speed anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're going in 28 degree 7 iron, you're not going to find like a blade or semi-blade.
Yeah.
So he has got to go a bit chunkier just to get his numbers more optimum. But yeah, everyone's different. So let's have a look. So 30.5 loft at the moment, and then yeah, you're looking at pretty much 61. So based off Titleist, that's like 2 degree flat. Yeah. So yeah, we definitely need to go quite a bit more upright. Try and get that toe higher. Again, 13.5. I'm thinking probably 32 loft to start. And again, you've then got an option to go, you know, probably generally 2 degree up or down, depending on the manufacturer and if you can alter it that much. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So anything that's like 32, yeah, you're generally going to be like a player's distance kind of iron. So obviously, I have a brand like stock. Is there any brand that you want to look at first, or you just got open to anything?
Open to anything, but if I'm being honest, I do like the Srixon ones.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start with Srixon then. For me, you've got two options really. It's probably only one where you got two. So you've got ZXI 5, ZXI 7. So the ZXI 7 starting off 32, and then the ZXI 5 is 31. But again, they could both be altered to the same loft. So if I just show you, where's the two out? Let's have a look at both of them, see what you think in terms of playability, because they're quite different in terms of like sole width. Top lines are pretty similar, but the sole widths are quite different. Yeah. And again, obviously, a good thing with Srixon, you can really do like a combo set. So you might go ZXI 5 in like your longer irons, and then ZXI 7 in the short ones potentially. But you've got two options there realistically that you could kind of play.
I mean, I do prefer the 7, but...
Yeah, well, we'll try with 7, and then you'll get an idea then if you can get that consistency. So yeah, we'll start with ZXI 7. So you see like sole whip's a bit slimmer compared to like the 5. You know, quite a big difference there. But again, that's obviously going to affect turf interaction as well. So yeah, we're going to start with Srixon ZXI 7. In terms of shaft, I've been having a bit of a think because I think you do swing a little bit slower indoors compared to outdoors. I think you'd probably agree with me anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously when X-Flex and driving, it's been working well. So I'm thinking probably like a lighter X-Flex because I think that's going to help kind of get your spin up anyway and it's not going to feel too firm.
Okay.
So I think to start we're going to go Nippon Modus 105X. So a little bit softer feeling than yours, a little bit higher spin. And then, yeah, we'll just obviously see how the numbers compare. I've gone 2 degree upright to start as well. What I've not checked as well is swing weight with yours. That can have an impact. D5.5. Oh. So, yeah, before you put the grips on, they'd have been really heavy. They'd have been like D7.
I don't know, because when I got fitted, they were on this swing weight thing.
But, again, from what I remember, a driver, you were lighter than that. D2, D3,
or
something
D3.
like that. So, again, that's that's going to have an impact in terms of timing if it's going to feel a bit too heavy. Length 37 3/4, so a little bit longer than standard as well.
Yeah, I think they're 1/4 inch longer or something.
Sounds like half. But yeah, swing weight can have a big impact in terms of like, release. So again, it can affect your height.
Okay.
If it's too heavy, you can maybe feel like it's lagging behind a bit. Then if that opens the face, that's going to add loft.
Yeah.
Again, generally when it's light, you can like over release and shut the face down a bit and come a bit flatter. So yeah, this is, we need to go in depth with everything. So I've gone, this is 37.5, so it's just a 1/4 inch shorter. That can help a fraction in terms of strike location as well. If you're a bit too long, you can go a bit higher up the head and obviously catch the ground a little bit. So again, so just over default, so a teeny tiny bit lighter, but obviously shaft's lighter as well.
Right.
So you're going to feel the head a little bit more, I'd say. So yeah, let's see what you think. So starting off 32, so obviously degree and a half weaker off. We've gone 2 degree up. So again, I think Srixon's standard lie 62, so that's 64. So we've gone 3 degree up compared to Titleist, basically, which is quite a big change.
Then, yeah.
So again, you should see visually like the toe should look a bit higher.
Yep, I see that.
So yeah, see what you think. Good try, I just pulled it.
Yeah. Whereas I didn't middle that.
That looks straight out. Does it look a little bit slimmer than yours, would you say?
Only a bit.
Yeah, but not a huge...
I quite like looking at it, if I'm honest. But you're right, I can feel the head more.
Yeah, just because you've gone light. So even the swing weight stayed the same, because of this shaft weight's dropped, so you're going to feel the head more. And obviously that can be good for control.
He says. A bit left again.
I think striking it better.
Yeah,
But
I
this
just
is
feel like... How do I describe it? Yeah, I feel like club's going first.
And that's potentially shaft weight, because when you go lighter, it is easier to release, but then also lie angle, because of the toes more up, it's easier to release. So, it is an awkward one, because whether you've kind of done both at the same time, it's working that, because again, face then, 9.3 shot.
And that path's different as well, isn't it?
So, in sometimes the lie angle before might have been saving you a little bit.
Right.
I think, if you've been naturally pulling it with the face being too short, now it's kind of standing out a bit more because your lie angle was more optimum. So then that's trying to work out what's swing related, what's lie angle related. Because for me now, I know they're going left, but you're striking it a lot better. So then it's trying to work out your face angle now. So go a few more for me, and then we'll have a look at the data. Yeah, it's a bit different numbers. So we've got the spin up and we dropped the launch. So it's kind of what you're wanting, and that's again a lot of it down to probably gear effect for head. Ball speed's got up 2 miles an hour, and obviously you've gone 1.5 degree weaker off, so it's not something you'd normally expect.
Yeah.
Carry's gone up 2 yards, but obviously everything's left. But it is very tight dispersion.
Yeah.
It's just consistently
It's just
left.
left, yeah. Which
But
I
again,
guess is a good thing. It's not like
it's a one-way miss now. But again, you look at your deviations as well with launch and spin, they're way tighter, especially for spin, because you're getting that connection now. So, you know, it's only dispersion that's letting you down, really, and maybe getting that spin up. I think that spin would naturally go higher if you went straighter. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge difference. You actually swung it
slower,
a mile an hour slower, but your efficiency's gone up loads.
Yeah.
So that efficiency is like really optimum now. But you can see now, because you're getting through it easier, Path's got a bit more out to win anyway. But yeah, your face is a lot more shut. Attack angle same. And again, back down in line, we've gone 3 degrees up. It's only moved at 1.5 dynamically, just because you're still going to come into the ball differently. But you see your strike location's dropped, and so that's where that number's come back, improved in terms of ball speed, launch and spin. You look at, that's last couple of strikes picked up. You had 2, I think, bang on the middle, on top of each other. So, yeah, apart from dispersion, everything's really good. I think you got your dispersion straight to that spin would naturally go higher, and that would be a really good option. But already, I feel like we've improved a lot. Just finding something now that can create them numbers, but just get a bit straighter. But yeah, very good start. So again, for me straight away, no point going ZXI 5 because I think you struck that well. I think you did it fine. The loft's stronger than that, which is going to be even lower spin. Maybe in a bit more offset, it's going to go even more left.
Right,
so for me, ZXI 7's fine. Just aware now, it's just trying to dial in the heads a bit more.
So it's all on you from this point.
Yeah, so you kind of open from.
Whatever you think. The only one I was really interested in was Srixon, but
no, that's fine. Okay, let's go. So we're going to go 14 TC7. So this is definitely more like a semi-blade.
Yep.
So again, I'll get the loft and lie, match the spec wise. I think 32 is decent loft. You maybe even go like 33. Again, I'll check the starting loft of it all. C9. We'll hit it first. It might be too light. Because these are Japanese, obviously they're designed for that kind of market. I mean, generally everything's a little bit lighter, so the head weights of these are a lot lighter. So that shaft frame with Srixon, for example, would have been similar to what the Modus was because it's the same weight range of 105. But you can see, that's realistically about 10-12 grams lighter head than the Srixon. So I don't think it'll work personally in terms of swing weight, but we can make it a bit heavier in a minute if we need to. But because we've not tried different swing weights yet, we'll see what your preference is. Okay. Because the Srixon was very similar to the Titleist. So that'll be an interesting one. That's just probably straightest one you've had with a good flight. Be interesting to see the spin on that. Can you feel that the head's lighter with like the swing weight?
Honestly, no.
Oh, okay.
No, not massively.
Yeah, fair enough. I said everyone's different.
Way more spin there, isn't there?
Yeah, well, that's way better. So that's the flight you kind of after really. 18.9 launch, 5.8 spin. But that's what I think the Srixon can get to. But you need to just get it starting straighter because that was still a little bit left.
Yeah.
And already the spin was way higher. Definitely straighter though. That's interesting. That was a really good shot. And what's weird is that it's lighter, which normally you'd tend to go more left.
Right.
But everyone's different. Sometimes it can feel that because it's lighter, you can feel like, your timing changes and you end up holding it off more than anything. Again, the strike was still really good. Yeah, so again, that was 6,050 spin because it was even straighter. That was really good.
Didn't quite get that one.
Still good though.
Didn't feel like it anyway. I'm not loving the looks and I don't like how it feels.
Right, okay.
But
results are there.
As I'm at the bottom of the ball, it's probably the best feeling one, if that makes sense. So before I'm there,
because again,
I'm like, no, but
launch and spin's way better. But we need to work out if this is the head in general or if it's just because you're hitting it straighter, so the spin's naturally going higher. It's gone shorter, but that's just more spin basically.
That's going to be expected, yeah.
But yeah, big difference.
But I feel like I can lose a bit of distance anyway on this 7.
Yeah, yeah, if you think it's coming in a bit hard and you're happy to maybe take it a little bit of yardage off.
Yeah, I don't need to be 175 really if it meant tightening everything else up.
Yeah, exactly. But you can see, you know, it's still a tiny bit left, but way straighter. Dispersion's even tighter. Ball speed's kind of sitting in between yours and the Srixon, which is fine. And again, launch sitting in between, but that spin just shoots way higher. You know, deviation's even tighter with launch and spin. You know, they're really consistent. And like I said, yeah, you know, 7 yards short of carrying Srixon, but for what you've gained in dispersion and control, you know, it's not that bad of a trade-off. But you know, for me, that's exactly where I want to see it in terms of launch and spin. To be honest, it is about spot on, and it's really consistent. It'd be interesting to see if we try heavier. You know, later on, if we obviously look at like a heavier swing weight and see if you could get a more preferred feel, but still get the same numbers. And again, if it was heavier, might actually then get it even straighter potentially.
Why do you think I haven't missed right yet on any shot compared to my original lines?
Just like angle, because you've gone more right. So even though, again, that's half a degree flatter than the Srixon, so whether that's making you go even straighter potentially. So I think next one we could maybe even try, you know, 63. So still a bit toe down, but we're still moving 2 degrees up from where you are originally. Yeah. And then if we start to lose it both again, then we know we've gone too flat. But yeah, for me, just going at half a degree flatter might help get it, you know, even straighter. But yeah, club data wise, swung it kind of in between. Yes, it's not as hot, but again, it's hard to say because you look at your dynamic loft. So because you're not shutting the face down as much, there's more loft on the club at impact. So that's going to make your efficiency a bit lower. It's still more optimum than yours anyway. But again, look at you know, your path's identical to yours before, but your face is a lot more neutral and it's a lot more consistent.
What do you think's made that better?
It's made potentially because we've gone a little bit flatter lie angle.
Right.
But then this is what we need to work out now, because in theory, with swing weight being lighter should have made it even more left. But in your case, you might have done the opposite. Everyone's different. It depends how your timing is and what you feel during your swing.
Yeah.
So if we go heavier again, and then it starts going more left, and we know maybe going lighter is actually a better option for you, which sounds kind of contradictory, but if that's what works, that's what works. So yeah, I think we'll go PXG next, because for me, because we've got the weight ports at the back, we can, you know, try heavy and light if we need to. So yeah, we'll try PXG next. So we'll start with Gen 7 0311P. I just need to see if the spin's going to stay a decent number. Because the 0317 range is definitely going to spin a bit more. So I've bent it 2 weeks to 32. I've gone 63 light, so it's another half a degree flatter than the 14 there, just see if that's going to get it that even straighter. But obviously swing weight's gone up a lot, so I've kept same model of shafters for 14, so KBS dollar taper light 105, but swing weight's gone to D4. So we'll just see if that change of kind of swing weight and lie angle, if that's going to get it even straighter. And then we'll know then if we're in the right direction. Yeah, full interest, that's gone a bit right, if anything. Sure. How does it feel?
Not as good as others. Don't feel as solid.
Yeah, and that's just because it's obviously, you know, a bit of a larger head, but it's hollow compared to yours with like a you know, kind of true forge. Okay. And then again, spin, it's still decent spin, but you know, where we kind of were with the 14 head, it being like around 6,000, I'd just prefer that kind of number. And I think that's just more down to the head profile now, so going like just a little bit slimmer. Let's just keep same shaft. I'm just going to put in the CB head. The 0317T is still like a hollow head, where if you want like one similar feel to a Srixon number 14, you're going to be going kind of a CB. It's just a true kind of forged head. Yeah, let's just make sure the forgiveness is okay. So yeah, we'll change head profile now, just because I think like you didn't prefer the feel as much, and the spin was just a little bit lower. So we've gone the 0317 CB. I've gone a degree weak, same as a 14 because the starting loft's weaker. So I've gone 33 loft, which is just standard for that, to be fair. Lyingle, gone 63 as well, same as what we had just then. But I've gone slightly lighter swing weight. I've gone D3, kind of in between what we've been trying. So yeah, let's see what you think. And then
Okay.
same shaft as before.
Better.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Yeah, you can see the height difference.
Yeah.
So much more spin. And great carry at the same time. That was a good shot. Hold them on.
Be a real.
That has got to be. Good shot.
Tad left again.
Really. Really?
Yeah.
Good strike. It's a little full.
I can feel it as I'm striking ball. I can feel that I'm going left, like
Yeah.
dragging it over.
How does the head feel though?
Don't like it.
You're not?
No.
Yeah, it spins better than a Srixon though, but again, just because it's been going straighter. Yeah, dispersion's still not too bad, but again, a bit more left. Carry's kind of sitting in between everything at the minute. And again, deviation's still good. What I do like is all the options we've tried, you spin so much more consistent than before, which is good. Yeah, 90.4. Yeah, he did swing it a little bit quicker.
Could feel it.
Efficiency was not as optimum though. No, that's fine. Okay. Let's try Haywood. Out of interest.
Yeah.
Give it a whirl. So I think Haywood wise, we'll probably start with a CB. If you wanted that kind of forged feel and similar characteristics like the Srixon number 14. Also, if anyone didn't see, we've done a review on the channel as well. Very good results from these. And obviously, price point's really cheap.
Okay.
So yeah, shaft wise, I only got 120 S300. It's a little bit heavier. And swing weight wise,
Ever.
D5, so kind of similar to a couple of the others. It's not too bad. Again, shaft length, I think it's 37.25. Yeah, 37.25.
That's a good one for under wind.
Good job.
Feel quite nice, I'm not. When you actually hit the club.
Yeah, carry we're good. Yeah, we're not as consistent at the minute.
Yeah.
What it exactly is. Again, yeah, a good shot, it's fine, but you miss hits with that is generally a little bit worse, or well, you just stiff that stuff.
Cutter.
Okay. Yeah, see, dispersion goes a little bit wider. Yeah, ball speed is definitely quickest. Launch is similar to everything else. Yeah, and spin's not too bad. Kind of sitting in between 14 and PXG. We see our deviation just goes a little bit higher. It's still definitely better than yours, but you can see dispersion definitely goes a bit bigger.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, it's great getting at distance, but you don't want to just lose that control. Because again, carry, it's not real much different to anything else, maybe a fraction further than some of them. But again, yeah, club data, yeah, tied Srixon for efficiency. So I think what I want to do, we've got one more brand, so Wilson. I'll get you hitting that. And then I think I want to get you hitting Srixon again, because I think the line was had a bit of an impact in terms of why it was going straight left. Because everything else that's gone flat to lie, we've all definitely gone a little bit straighter. So I think we can kind of keep the consistency and ball speed with Srixon, but obviously go straighter, and I think that'll be a good contender as well. But again, that's another good option. I think in a minute it'll definitely be 14 Srixon Haywood. I think you kind of narrow down to 3 heads for now. PXG, I just didn't think you could get on with either one. So yeah, that's not a problem. So yeah, let's look at the Wilson.
Have a set of them.
So that's the CB, but again, that's similar to, you know, the Haywood, the PXG, the Srixon. So I think it's doable. It's just the consistency again. If we can keep that consistency, again, obviously lofts are very traditional, which is fine for you. That's going to help. So yeah, let's see what shaft options I've got. So yeah, we're going to go Wilson Staff Model CB. Just on standard lie for now, and then KBS solid taper light. It's stiff flex of a minute. I've not got X flex in the fitting kit, but like I said, just want to see if that shaft model is working well. Swing weight's D4, so it's decent weight as well.
I'll come back.
Yeah, you're playing spoils it pattern.
Meant to say playing length 37 3/4, so same length as yours. So I think we're all a fraction longer than standard, I'd say, which I don't think is a huge issue.
Felt nice.
That look good. That look good shape.
Yeah, they feel pretty solid, don't they?
I think that shaft's a good option, and I think definitely going lighter in weights, are good, you know, helping as well.
Hit it.
Getting it all. Oh,
Line ball though.
line ball.
Line ball.
Frozen
But the thing
rope.
is, am I imagining it, or is Ed smaller?
Um,
It looks pretty small down at ball. Remember that thing we
Potentially.
tested that was as big as ball? I'm getting visions of that.
It's yeah, again, obviously we're all just going to be different, you know, head size and head shape. We're all going to vary a fraction brand to brand. As long as it don't look too small, where you feel like you're going to struggle. But numbers are good.
About that one.
At least it went straight.
And say it ground a foot behind ball. No,
We'll leave that one.
that one's
So yeah, I think for me, yeah, top three is probably the Haywood, Srixon, and the 14. So what I'll do, I'll get the Srixon again, same shaft as before, but in standard lie.
Yep.
See if that's a bit more consistent, and then if that's still a contender, then we'll narrow it down a bit to like our top 2 or 3. So yeah, this is last option until we then start to go more in depth with the other ones.
Yep.
You know, when we narrowed it down. So back to the Srixon, we've gone standard line instead of 2 degree up, just because I was the most upright out of anything, and it's gone more left, so it makes sense. We're going to go a bit flatter lie. So still more upright than your current set, but just not as upright as before. Still same shaft. I think shaft's still a good option. So yeah, let's just see how this compares to the others. Yeah, instantly straighter. Good shot. Oh, yeah, first shot good.
why have you jinxed it? Remind me, what loft is this?
32. So everything's been between 32, 33.
Alright, so they're not massively strong then.
No, they're just a little bit strong compared to current. You know, well, compared to yours are weaker, but you know, traditional nowadays is like 34/7. Players distance is like 32. Great strike. Good shot.
Quite middle, that one.
Still done well though.
Yeah. Very well.
Still a good carry.
Yeah, a bad swing. I thought I'd lost that massively right.
That's not too bad.
No, considering how it felt.
Go one more. Yeah, good shot. Yeah, these are working way better. Good shot. Yeah, so we've hit the Srixon again, going back to standard line, way better. Like I said, just obviously a lot more neutral now. Got the spin up because naturally the face is more open. But yeah, obviously now best ball speed, launches highest by 0.1 degree compared to yours. Obviously got that spin back up again. Still on the lower side of spin, but still a lot higher than where you are before. It's still pretty optimum. But yeah, 174 carry, so yard further carry, but obviously you've done it in the right way by getting a lot more control.
Yeah.
Your deviations are really tight. Yeah, to kind of conclude, so we've got a top 3 now in terms of heads. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go more in depth with trying different shaft options, you know, playing about with swing weight a bit, and just see what's going to come out on top.
Perfect.
So I think that's been great. I've been a bit of a fly on wall in this video today.
Yeah.
But being someone like stood behind the scenes, and you know, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like this has been great viewing for anybody at home to really see like what a master fitter does during the selection of, you know, getting the right iron basically, getting the right head profile.
Yeah, you can't rush it. You know, we've tried loads of heads, and again, because I'm getting more and more options now, you've got to try them. You know, you've got to be open minded. That's the main thing.
I mean, we're at 1 hour and 15 minutes into this fit, and I'm not sure how long video would be.
Yeah.
But to give you that perception, you know, if you're going into fittings and you're selecting the iron head in less than maybe 30 minutes, then now you're actually having the right fit, because, you know, we've seen the lengths you've gone to sort of, and we've narrowed it down to 3. I mean, we've not even come to the final conclusion yet.
Yeah.
So we are going to be posting, obviously, the remaining part of this video, where obviously you're going to start to make some adjustments to shafts and stuff like that.
Yeah, we're going to play about with shafts now, swing weights, and just double check kind of loft and lie. But yeah, obviously my normal line fit is 2 hours, and I think, you know, realistically, without stopping and starting, you know, doing conclusions and stuff, I'd think we'd be on track to kind of bid 2 hours.
Yeah.
You know, that's just going in the same amount of depth as I would with anyone else.
But I think that's why I came to you, because I think you was the person that spent the longest time with me and my iron fitting. And one thing since buying the irons off you is that I've never once looked to change them. You know, if we go down the route of changing them, it'll just be because like maybe a brand's offering to support the channel and, you know, potentially help us put something new in it back. But when you go to a master fitter and you spend that amount of time on sort of like being fitted, you stop flipping around changing clubs.
Yeah, of course.
It's certainly worth the investment of time and obviously money, I think.
Again, Dan's on his irons at 3 years.
Yeah.
He's on 3 years, and you know he thought they weren't too bad, but already we've seen that we've got dispersion a lot tighter, spin a lot more optimum, deviations tighter, and yeah, there's always somewhere to improve generally. So yeah, I'm keen to see how it ends. You know, end decision.
Guys, if you're enjoying this video, obviously we're going to come back for session 2. We're going to have a bit of lunch now, aren't we?
Yeah.
And we're going to post session 2 in a few days' time to see what irons Dan ends up with. But, you know, the way it's looking at the minute, he's definitely going to end up with a new set of irons.
Yeah,
sorry, Emma,
if you don't mind.
She's watching.
Putting his money where his mouth is.
Yeah.
But all 3 options are definitely better regardless. So we're going to find some.
So what we got?
Really
We've got.
Went up with Srixon ZXI 7, 14 TC 7, and then the Haywood PD1. So yeah, we'll kind of review them all again and see if M1 doesn't stand out as much, and then kind of narrow down to 2, and then we'll get more in depth again.
Yeah. Brilliant. Guys, hope you're enjoying the videos. Make sure you check Sam out at Golf Repair for you for all your fitting needs. And if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in 2 days' time. Bye.